that song?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Final.
Yeah, that's what Jared plays on the toilet.
Why do you know what he plays on the toilet?
How do you know that?
Not a word of a lie. Have you heard this story? No. Do you want to hear this story? I honestly forget where we were. But we had to go to the restroom. We were in a hotel or I think it was a convention. So we found a public restroom. Walked in. We thought it was empty. He went into one stall. I went into another stall. We sat down. It was quiet.
A little too quiet.
Then all of a sudden, it's the final countdown. And I, in my stall, start to giggle. He hears me laughing and he starts to laugh. Then the stranger at the end of the bathroom flushes the toilet and quickly exits the restroom. And now that song is forever ruined because of Mr. Pavlecki. One of the many stories that we have that will probably end up in one of our books at some point. Yeah, I'm not writing a book. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. Over here.
Thank you. Hi. Given how the last season ended, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling anyone, what do you think about...
Don't tell me, I don't want to know.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, sorry. You're gonna get spoiled now.
Do I tell her? Please, spoil away.
Given how the last Supernatural season ended, what do you think about a crossover with The Walking Dead?
Okay. Yeah, I think there's several shows that could possibly make sense for these characters arriving into town. That one being one of them. They would certainly make for some interesting meta moments, especially between Negan and the Winchester brothers. Maybe we just have the Impala drive by and have Negan holding his bat going, huh. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I'd be down for that. Yeah, you'd have to talk to the guys over at Walking Dead, but that'd be fun. And come this time next year, we'll have some time on our hands. So, who knows? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, Jensen. So I know that it was a pretty quick turnaround to get from the CW upfronts in New York to come join us, and I'm curious, the Jonas Brothers performed, and I wanted to know if you saw them, if you got the opportunity to see them perform, and if so, how did you like it?
Who? So not a word of a lie, and I'll probably get called out for saying this, but I'll leave the names out of it, but it's probably pretty easy to figure out who it is. After the musical group exited stage, one of our executives walked onto stage and said, "Let's hear it for the Joneses brothers." And you saw all the other executives behind stage go, "What the?" So what they do, usually the way that thing works is they have all of the cast of all the shows in a room that's a little smaller than this room here, and coffee and waters and stuff. There, we're all watching a monitor of what's happening on stage. So I guess, yeah, I did see them, but on a TV, but everybody was talking, so I didn't really watch them. It was more for the audience that was out in the theater. I think they played a couple of songs. I'm not their target demographic, so I'm sure they're not going to take offense to the fact that I wasn't paying attention. Good for them. It looks like their careers are doing really well, and it was nice to have somebody that's relevant, other than not us. We were talking about, Jared and I were talking about it. It's interesting. He may have touched on this. Has he had his panel yet?
No.
Well, then I'm going to steal this story. We were there in this room with all of the cast from all of the shows. Not all of the shows, but most of the shows for our network. And the network traditionally skews for a younger audience, and so a lot of the shows are designed to be just that. So it's a lot of young cast members. Jared said, "I remember when I was the young one." And I said, "I know." And we're literally the same age as the ones that are like playing the fathers of the lead cast members now. And we had this lovely young actress, Kennedy, who's playing Nancy Drew in the new series, come up to us, and she was like, "You guys are legends. I've grown up watching you. Can I get a picture? Can I get a picture with you for my father?" And I was like, "Okay. Did your father grow up watching us too?" No, but in all seriousness, the talent, they've paid us really great compliments over the years, and we've got equally as great compliments from the executives of the network who tell us that we set a good example for those young actors and actresses. And to me, that's one of the best compliments I could receive. That's something that I know that Jared and I have always strived to attain is respect from the people that we worked with and our peers, to set a good tone on set. We can't control a lot, but that we can't control, and so we try to do the same. We try to do the same here as well. We try to set a tone of fun, engagement, professionalism, friendliness, compassion, love, and when you check those boxes in a work setting, it's amazing the kind of work you can get done, and it's also amazing the kind of friends you can make. And so we get to be benefits of that when we're on our set, but peripherally, we get to see that be an example for these new shows and these younger actors and actresses that are coming up, and to me that's really important. And I'm proud that we've at least achieved somewhat of that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're very proud of you guys. Thank you.
fact that we followed that monologue with dancing unicorn llamas. What's happening?
Now you can, you know, your frustration with unicorns, there's a...
I don't have a frustration with unicorns, except when they surround me and threaten me.
Look at your feet, behind your feet. Turn around.
Yeah, there is a unicorn balloon.
No,
No,
not
the
the
stick.
stick. The stick. And you can kill.
Get that.
Why would I want to kill a unicorn?
If you want to keep him there like this, looking at you, it's fine.
I want to kill a unicorn. I like unicorns. You know? You know how often I have to answer the question, are unicorns real? And now I get to show my daughter a video of me doing this.
Not all unicorns are born alike.
I get you.
See, unicorns can't be destroyed though. No matter how hard you hit them,
Not yet.
still together. They're magical creatures
They're magically delicious.
that exist in real time and in real life. They're just, you never know if it's a horse or if the horse is hiding its horn. Because they have to be very quiet because there's a lot of people out there that want to hurt them. And what happens is you really can't hurt them.
And it's for kids. Kids manage to break them.
Like the day you were born. I feel like it's staring at me.
Just the one special one.
This doesn't work.
It works.
Oh, it does it?
It does.
It worked for Graham.
Step on it, Jensen.
I feel like this is, what?
Step on it.
Step on it?
No.
I can't even
like
look
me?
at it when I'm like hitting it. It's like, I feel really horrible. It's like I'm breaking like a beautiful piece of art.
In pinata form.
Oh, I'm gonna take its horn off.
Clearly the unicorns wins.
This one wins.
What did
All right.
Steven do to you?
What's that?
What did Steven do to you?
Steve? Have it now. I feel like this is designed not to have a serious conversation. I mean, it's... Anybody got any questions?
Sure. Hi. So I was wondering, what are some fun details about Dean that have never been explored on the show, but you believe to be true to his character anyway?
Some fun, what was it?
Details like little things about Dean.
About Dean? I think and this is really boils down to a cost issue. I feel like we miss hearing Dean's music as much as we used to. I would have liked to have explored a little bit more of Dean's, although we know what genre it is, just kind of hearing a little bit more of that be a soundtrack to his life and to the brothers' journey. Also, I think that we should probably have a scene or two with a cat and see what happens. Maybe there's some stuff left over from Yellow Fever that we haven't tapped into. That could be funny. There's a lot we haven't discovered about Dean, but I think there's a lot that we have, and I'm thankful for that because I think he's a very complex character. I think he's a very real character. You know, he's not a lot of characters, at least that I see, and this might just be a product of the amount of time that we're allowed to spend with them. You know, in a movie you only get maybe 90 minutes, maybe 120 minutes. But those characters have very little time to really kind of unfold as much as Dean has gotten to unfold over the past 14 years. And I like the fact that I've had the opportunity to be able to discover this character along the way and rediscover this character and reinvent this character almost on an annual basis. And it's something that, like I said earlier in this morning with Jared, it's something that will forever live with me. But we got 12 more months to discover something new about him, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, as a fan of the show myself, are you looking forward to the next season of Peaky Blinders? And have you heard about the escape room in Birmingham? They've just designed a Peaky Blinders themed escape room, and would you like to do it?
What? Yes. I didn't know that. I'll have my people. I don't have people, but I'll have my people look into that. Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's like one of those shows that I've been with it since the beginning, and I got to see it through the end. Kind of like a show that's ending tomorrow. Which, don't get me started. I can't. Game of Thrones fans? Anybody? So no, you guys don't watch it. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could hear your opinion. We're not here to have a Game of Thrones discussion, but I would like to have one. Do you want to hear my theory on what's going to happen?
No?
Just real quick. And I'm sorry, I know it was about Peaky Blinders, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Shelbys do. I really am, because Thomas Shelby's one of my favorite characters. But I just kind of have to say this. I think Tyrion's gonna kill Daenerys. Why? Because he was wrong.
He's wrong.
And he watched his friend die.
Why Tyrion?
He watched his friend die, he was wrong, and it's the ultimate redemption for his character, for all the things that he's done, is to put Snow on the throne. But whether or not Snow makes the throne, I don't know. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Game of Thrones, and we'll find out tomorrow night. Daniela, can we just sit here and have a Game of Thrones watch party tomorrow night?
Sorry?
Can we just sit here and have a Game of Thrones watch party tomorrow night?
Yes.
A Game of Thrones watch party tomorrow night?
It would be like,
I don't watch it.
You don't watch it?
We watch it.
So you're the one.
I'm number 2.
Oh, and you're 2, and you're 3. All right, fine.
I'll watch it.
All right, moving on.
It'd be like 3 a.m.
Enough of that. Enough people talk about that show. Hi.
So for the past 14 seasons, we've seen Dean go through every horrible thing imagined. And I thought I'd seen all of your acting range, but I've never seen anything like the way you played Dean grieving Cass and Mary in season 13. Like, it was so raw and real. And I just wanna, how do you do that? Where does it come from?
You know, it used to, thank you. It used to come from someplace other than the show, which is a common, I think, acting thing. Maybe it's not, I don't know. I've never been trained properly or professionally, or at all. I'm untrained. And wild. But for me personally, just being able to tap into certain emotions, you know, in the very beginning of the show, is like maybe I use something from my personal experience. Now I don't have to do that because I've lived with this character and I've lived with these relationships for so long that I can just simply think about what it would be like for this character to go through what he's going through, and that brings the emotion right there. Whenever I have an emotional scene with Jared or with Misha, when we're in those characters, we're in those moments. You know, I am Dean.
Yes, you are.
And he is Sam, and he is Cass, and she is Mary, and she is Charlie, and like those relationships are real, because they also exist off camera in a certain extent. You know, these are very dear friends of mine, and if a dear friend of yours comes to you and says they're dying, or if you lose someone like that, that brings up real emotion. And the craziest thing is when you're acting, when you're doing these scenes, you're telling your body that this is real. You're telling your body that your brain is, I mean, brain is an incredible thing, and the fact that it can tell your body to do something and to react to something that isn't real. Even though you know it's not real, you can tap into emotions that would only happen if it was real. And I don't know if that's a certain gift or a talent or just a messed up way of using your brain wrong, but it's difficult to then turn that off, for me anyways. Some people can get into it and get out of it really quickly, but for me it's like getting into it is one thing, but then that becomes real because I'm telling myself that it's real. And I've talked about this before, like the emotional stuff is very difficult, because those are some of the moments that I remember the most because they have the biggest impact on my heart. Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
So we know you're really talented, like there's nothing you can't do. It's true.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
Yeah, take a sip.
Okay, question please.
So yeah.
That's it?
No.
Good, great.
I don't know what's happening.
No, I'm just getting a drink of water. That was me avoiding that compliment. That's what that was.
The music started playing. Whatever. You've been teasing us with Steve for a couple of weeks now about some songs, maybe an album, and I was just wondering if we're gonna hear something soon, maybe on Monday. It's my birthday, I deserve it.
You want to tell her?
Not that, Steve.
Oh. No, not.
Jensen.
I don't. What do you want to know?
Are you gonna sing a new song on Monday or not?
Am I singing a new song Monday?
Yeah, during the Monday concert.
Yeah, I think we're singing a new song, but it won't be one of my songs or Steve's. One of our songs, right? You're being very quiet today. Don't look at me like that.
Jared.
Our relationship is complicated. Yeah, I'll touch on that real quick. Steve Carlson, who some of you may or may not know, dear friend of mine. He and I, we've been working on a music project for about, well, I say about 8 months. He likes to say about 19 years.
Feels like it.
Yeah, and we finally started to record some music, all completely original, all written and produced by he and I. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll listen to it and be like, "This is crap. We're never releasing this," or maybe we'll say, "Let's see what they think."
We'll hunt you down if you do that.
I know.
So no.
I know. Yeah, so we're working on that, and that's in the works, and we're getting close to printing. So I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
I recently found an old interview of yours, and you mentioned then, I think it was in the 90s, you mentioned that your most prized possession is a pink stuffed pig. And I thought that was really adorable, and I wanted to ask, does he still exist? Why did you mention him or her?
Don't listen to her. Really? Did I say that? I mean, I know what you're talking about. I can't believe that I actually said that. That's a little embarrassing. Yeah, that was something from my childhood that was probably the only piece of my childhood that I brought to California with me. Everything else was just stuff that I needed to, survive: a bed, clothing, dishes, a toothbrush, and that's about all I had. But then I had my little pink stuffed pig, which wasn't little. I mean, the thing was like this big. It was basically just a body pillow. And yeah, I don't know why I decided to bring that, but it was the one thing that just kind of reminded me of being young and a kid. And I think one day I grew up and got rid of it. And I don't know where, I think I tossed it. It probably smelled pretty bad. Yeah. I know my 6-year-old, well, she's about to be 6 in 2 weeks. She has this little stuffed thing that she has that she calls baby. Not kidding. And when she was young, when she was only a couple of years, there were different variations of this one little stuffy thing, and there was the puppy, and then there was the rabbit, and there was the raccoon, and the owl, whatever. But she gravitated towards this one particular one, and so we're like, ooh, we should buy a few of those in case one goes missing. Well, she had used that one so much that the texture of the fabric became different than the other ones. So she could tell when she was 2 years old, she was like, this is not baby. And I'm like, of course it is, this is our thing. But you have to use this one in order for it to, can we just, no, it's in the washing. But no, that was the only one. So we've gotten rid of all those. There is one lone baby, and if we lose that, And she's 6 now. I mean, it's like, all right, we gotta like maybe get rid of this. And she's like, nope. So I have a feeling that might be going to college with her. But yeah, that's kind of the story behind the pig.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
I started watching 2.5 years ago, and I watched 9 seasons in 2 weeks, and I haven't regretted a single second. So thank you so much for so much entertainment. My question is, speaking of baby, you're gonna get baby after the show ends, so maybe you'll get like Jared on board and drive back to Texas and like film a road trip show.
Maybe.
Pretty please.
It's not a bad idea.
Have the other baby in tow.
Right, so when ours breaks down after 200 miles, we can just rotate them.
It's a tank waiting babies.
We'll have like a full convoy of like mechanics. Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. I'll think about that. Okay. Hi.
Hi. You recently opened your brewery. I wish like to know how did you get interested in making beer, and what is your favorite beer?
My brother-in-law Gino and I used to make just some backyard beer at my house in California years ago, and we really got into the craft beer industry and the whole wave of craft beers that were hitting America at that time. And started making more beer, and then we had this kind of pipe dream, like hey, it'd be fun to really open up like a little small brewery and make beer for some of our friends and family and maybe some customers. That dream blossomed and grew, and Gino really kind of took the reins on that. Because I was working on the show, I couldn't devote the kind of time needed to explore the industry in depth the way that he could. So he went to Chicago and went to the Siebel Institute, which is a phenomenal beer school. And he went to UC Davis in California and took a master brewery class there. Just started really learning like the complexities and the science and the chemistry behind beer. And so when we decided to move to Austin, he was like, well, the scene down there, the brewery scene and the craft beer scene down there is just perfect to start a brewery. So he moved to Austin as well. We bought some land, put up a building, bought some tanks, and then promptly hired someone who knew how to make beer. I wasn't going to put that kind of an investment or that kind of pressure on Gino to come up with all the recipes, and he agreed. He was like, no, we need to. This was us opening up basically a restaurant and hiring a master chef, and so we were lucky enough and fortunate enough to find Nate. Nate came aboard and started making beer right away. We kind of gave him free rein as to make what he wanted. Luckily, he's very talented in making all varieties of and styles of beer, and then it just came down to what we liked and what we felt we could get behind and promote properly. And now we've got more than we need, which is great. The response has been fantastic. Some people here in the audience have actually been to the brewery, and it's a really fun endeavor to be a part of outside of the entertainment industry. I've never really pursued anything in a different industry, so this is really fulfilling and enjoying. And I would say my favorite, if I had to pick a beer right now that we make, Oof. It would probably be the pale ale. It was the very first one that we all agreed had to go on the list. And it's still there today, and it still is one of our best sellers. So, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, I didn't want there to be any question. Okay.
Thank you for your honesty.
Did you want to come up?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to leave now? Do I leave now? What do I do? I'm not asking you.
Drink.
Oh, I leave. Okay.
They're treating you like you're a puppy or a dog.
Hey, Misha, go. I have one question for you.
Heel.
Still going. You were so much better in your 40s.
Why weren't you reading your fucking monitor that whole time? So everybody backstage was like, it's possible Jensen can't read.
You know why? Because I'm not worried about what I look like. I don't watch the monitor. I'm giving myself to these people.
Jensen, don't stand facing the audience. Those pants clearly show that you have a tiny penis.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
So in the green room, Rich and Rob were talking about how the monitor had been. Oh yes. Oh, that's what you cuddle with at night? So, Daniela, in the green room, Rich and Rob were talking about how I had changed the screen on the monitor, and then Daniela said, yes, because he's evil. As if it just
And that's why we love you.
And that just explains, like, yes, because he's evil. No, you understand.
I also added because we.
You did say that. That's why you love me, because I'm evil, which is very
Sure,
sweet.
that's true. You know, similar people.
That's why we get along so well, isn't it? No photos, please. No photos.
That is the longest running gag ever.
So the fact that this is the birthday, the 10th birthday of JIB10. I was thinking about something that Mason said recently. My daughter, she's small. She said, "Why don't things have birthdays? Like, why don't mom's glasses have birthdays? Or why doesn't our refrigerator have a birthday? Or why don't dad's underwear have birthdays?" And then West said, without missing a beat, he said, "Is it possible that butts get sweaty?" So I just wanted to leave you with that. Actually, that's circled back nicely with what I was talking about this morning. Again, I'm sorry. Please, no photos. No photos. How are you? How's it going so far? It feels like everyone is... Most of you seem very lively.
Misha.
No, I'm just kidding. You seem
I'm really happy to be here.
almost alive. You have a question, comment, criticism.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
So, sorry, this is a little bit of a serious question to start out with, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Good luck.
Yeah, but it's an important one. The U.S. is coming up on another really important year next year, and you did such a great job last year with the Get Out the Vote efforts.
You mean because it's a census year?
Oh yeah, it's the census I'm worried about, sure.
Yeah.
No, there's something else happening that year, and I just wondered two things. Are you planning, I hope, on sort of getting involved again and spurring people to do stuff? And specifically, are there any messages you have right now for what we should be doing right now to make things turn out a little better next year?
I do plan to be involved in I think, I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess that you're talking about an election.
Oh yeah, that could be it.
Who here loves Donald Trump? By the way, if you do like Donald Trump, I feel bad for doing that, because I would probably just leap over the seats and attack you, and you knew that. You know, I'm still holding out hope that that young people will turn out at the polls and shift the tide. I've said this before, but when they do those polls of likely voters, do you know what I'm talking about? They say, of likely voters, you know, 49% say Donald Trump is a turd. But those likely voters they don't count people under 25 because they're not likely to vote. So I'm hopeful that young people will get out and vote. And if you know any young people, maybe you could threaten them with something. That's what you can do.
I frequently do.
You can scare young people into voting. Don't really do that though, okay? Hi.
Hi. Now I kind of wish I had this stepping stool from earlier on.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
How tall are you?
You mean how tiny am I? 5 feet?
5 feet?
Yep.
That's pretty big. I'm sorry about what I did in the photo.
That's okay.
She brought a stool and then I stood on the stool.
Well, clearly you had to use it. Jared as well. I mean, they are very tiny, so yeah. That's fine. Totally fine. Okay. Anyways, from politics to something completely different. So, thanks to a Gish family gathering in Munich, I now know that you, my dear, are quite tasty.
I'm so embarrassed to admit I literally don't remember this event.
Of course you don't. Alcohol was involved.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say, please explain.
Okay, will do. No, nothing too bad. No, the thing was, we were at a cafe in Munich, and a Mr. Collins was on the cocktails menu. So I had to order it. And you taste quite good.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Leading up to the following question.
I'm starting to get a little nervous about the follow-up question. So, well done. Okay.
No, just kidding. So, what would a Castile cocktail taste like? What ingredient would a Castile cocktail have?
Oh, shame on you. Not Dean.
What would a Castile cocktail be? I hate that word.
Like a cloud with a sprinkle of harp. Yeah. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Sorry, I live there.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. I was wondering, spoiler, yes. After what happened in the final, do you?
Don't tell me I haven't watched it.
It's fine.
We already went through this.
Do you think the Winchester Gospels will still exist? Because Chuck wrote those, and then he did that. So, do you
Are you worried about like where you're gonna get the books?
No.
You can probably still find them on eBay or something.
No, I'm an avid reader. I have my ways. But I was just wondering for the show, because it seemed like a thing where Dean was going to beat the crap out of Chuck, and he's like, well, no, you can't like hurt him or kill him because like the stuff that he's writing is going to be important later on. So it just seemed like after he's like originally he wrote those, and then he snapped his fingers, and now like zombies are everywhere. So I was just wondering if, depending on what they do with the new season, if anything they had done in the past was like going to matter.
I've never felt more confused in my life.
It does that.
It's okay. I just feel like I failed an IQ test.
No, it was really far back in the show, so.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was the last episode to air. Is that what you mean?
Well, it's reference to that.
Oh, there's more, isn't there?
No.
Don't give up. Don't give up on me. I'm a failing student. You need to help me. I think that the books will still be available, but maybe only in Kindle version. No, don't give up on me.
It's like
I just
really
need
hard
extra
for me to
help.
be up here in the first place, so this is not helpful.
I know. Okay, I'll be nice. I'm just kidding. So let's start over.
Okay, so when they first discovered Chuck,
Yes.
he's supposed to be a prophet, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that right?
So then he wrote the books,
Yep.
and then he's like, okay, well, I get visions and I write it down, and what I write down happens.
Yes.
So then something happens where Cass comes in, like he poofs in and says, Dean, don't hurt Chuck, because what he writes will be important later on.
Okay.
And then he says they're called the Winchester.
And this all happened.
Yes, in the show.
No, it's a fan.
So I'm saying,
Are we talking about Game of Thrones right now?
it might have a
You're
better
so
outcome.
mad at me.
So I guess Chuck being a prophet and then finding out he was God, let me put it this way, does anything that he said as Chuck matters as God? Like, did anything he say as Chuck matters now when he's God?
Oh, come on, say yes.
Yes. Did I get it right? Yes.
Thank you.
But you don't really mean that. But I can tell you this. I think that I think now, like my guess is from this point forward, going into the next season, we are going to be seeing the unwritten script. Like the boys and Cass are going to be trying to chart their own course and not let God write the story. Sorry, Chuck write the story for them. God. Mr. God? What does he go by?
It's just God. It's just God.
I think this went well, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How am I going to follow up on that question?
I don't know.
Well, first, I just want to say that you're my favorite. And
Favorite what? Favorite what?
Thank you.
I just
Thank
think
you
that,
for saying that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think that...
Hold on, I just want, can I grab a quick video of you saying that? I have some friends I want to show that to.
Don't lie.
I think it only got better after season 4. Which is... More eye candy. But I have a question. And
Okay, good.
I was wondering, what do you think Supernatural would look like if you didn't have a stunt double? If you didn't.
It would be pretty cool.
Because you're bendy and flexible?
I've tried to do some of my own stunts. I kind of learned early on that it's maybe not my thing. There were 2 specific events. One was I was doing this movie called Finding Home, which was a low-budget, kind of terrible movie. But they had this really nice antique boat, and they had a Coast Guard captain who was going to drive the boat dressed as my character. And I was like, I can drive the boat, guys. It's just a boat. I'm like, how hard can that be? I'd never driven a boat before. And the director was like, we need you a little closer to the show. So the Coast Guard guy was down below, and I was in this beautiful, expensive antique boat. And the director was like, we need you a little closer to the rocks, Misha. Just bring it a little closer. Just fucking crashed into the rocks and like broke open the wooden hull of this antique boat. And it cost them like a significant portion of the budget of the film to fix it. And so from that, like the next big thing that I worked on was 24. And I sort of learned my lesson, and the very first scene in 24 was like close up on my eyes, introducing this badass new character, evil character, and then I drive my Jaguar down a ramp, loading dock ramp out of a warehouse. And they're like, so we're gonna do the close up on your eyes, and then we're gonna cut to the wide shot where we'll have a stunt driver drive it down the ramp. And I was like, guys, I can drive the car down the ramp. And I ripped out the entire undercarriage, so the entire exhaust system of this $120,000 car was just sitting on the pavement when I finished. And it was my first day of shooting. And so then after that, when they were like, we have a stunt guy to do the thing, I was like, yeah, let him do that. That's great. Yep. Thank you. Hi.
What are the things you're going to miss the most about playing cars?
What are the things I'm going to miss the most?
Yes.
I don't know. There are a lot of things I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss going to work and, you know, laughing and having fun with the cast and crew. And I don't know. I mean, I guess like there's a part of me that fears that this community is going to sort of slowly go away, which it probably will. I mean, you know. Promise?
Do we think you swear?
And I'll miss being able to go to work and have my castmates, you know, fondle my genitals while we're shooting. That's something I probably won't be able to get in another show.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Hi. I'd like that you get... Hi.
So my question is, do you have a favorite poem? And if you do, why is it your favorite?
I did listen to the question. Don't criticize my listening skills. I'm getting heckled. I don't know that I have a favorite poem. There's a poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night. But oh my friends and oh my foes, it gives a lovely light. That's a lovely poem, I think. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver, I love.
I love it.
And what was the rest of your question? I didn't listen. Why?
Yes, why?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I just respond to those. I don't think I can answer that. It's too personal.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Hi.
Hi. So my question is, you inspire a lot of people. How do you feel about it?
Well, right now, super uncomfortable. I don't know what are you talking about? Influence. Thank you. Thank you for throwing me a lifeline. I can't answer your question. I feel so uncomfortable. I like the fact that we have this, I think, very dynamic relationship, like the cast and the fans of this show, where we're sort of, I feel like, symbiotically trying to do some good in the world.
Yeah, this is what I meant. That a lot
Okay,
of
thank
people
you.
follow your good example. I don't know what else you should think about, guys. Shame on you.
But I guess I have to say, like, when I got on this show, I had been thinking, like, I should try to be more charitable or do more, beneficial things in the world. And my interaction with the fans of the show helped me to do that, because I saw that in you guys. And so I kind of feel like it's on you as much or more than it is on me. So you inspire us as well, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you.